I've always wanted to be good at getting dressed. Not necessarily to be trendy or to be fashionable, but to be the kind of person that when I walk out the door, other people might look at me and say, yes, she put that on purpose. Now, I've been working on that project for most of my adult life, from making a wardrobe of 33 items that were all supposed to mix and match in college, to only wearing black for like 5 years straight in my 20s because I once wore an all black outfit and it was cool, so I figured all black would always be a cool look. But was I wrong? I've been very into curating and making sure everything that I own is the platonic ideal of that thing. And so I never actually have that many clothes at once, but I'm always kind of cycling. Like, I'll have 2 pairs of pants, but then I'll resell them in 6 months because they're not the perfect pairs of pants, and I need room to buy the 2 pairs of pants that I think will be the perfect pants, and they're not either. So it's possible that what I'm about to tell you is another one of my harebrained schemes that I imagine will finally lead me to feel good in my clothes. But I've been watching a lot of personal style TikTok in the past year, just soaking up information, and I think that maybe the trick to looking like I got dressed on purpose is to just cool it and wear what I already own as much as possible. And that's what I've been doing. In January, I started taking pictures of every clothing item I owned other than socks, underwear, and pajamas, but all my coats, accessories, jewelry, bags, shoes, everything that someone might visibly see on my person outside of my home, I photographed and I uploaded into an app. This is not an ad. I don't do ads on this channel as like a blanket rule, but I used Index. It's free, but you can pay for fashion internet people to make outfits for you out of your own clothes, and that's presumably how they make their money. There are other similar apps though, and a friend of mine even uses Canva to do this, but I used Index and then I paid $170. I think her rates have gone up a bit since then, but to have Heather Hurst, aka Pig Mommy from TikTok, use pictures of my clothing like little paper dolls. I was hoping that having a fresh set of eyes on the clothes that I owned might give me some ideas that were not just like the band t-shirt tucked into high-waisted skirt thing I've been doing every day for 2 years. And you can ask your stylist if you choose to hire one to make outfits only with your existing closet, or you can have them suggest a couple of things to add to your wardrobe. And since I only had 50 items total, including again tights and all of these rings that I wear every day, I asked for some suggestions. The cool thing though is that I did mention that I prefer to shop secondhand, and Heather went and found eBay links to specific used clothing items in my sizes. And I didn't buy everything because I'm trying to kind of build slowly, but I thought that was a cool touch. So here are some of the outfits. I said that my style was feminine 60s mod meets 2014 Tumblr meets aging punk. So that's what we're going for here. All right, so this first look has 3 of the things that Heather suggested that I add to my wardrobe. So that little skinny scarf, which I was really excited about, got that one. The bag, which I don't have, but I have a similar little clutch. I usually am carrying around a cotton tote bag because I'm on the train a lot and I'm reading books, so small bags don't fit into my life as well. And then the shorts, this is also something that I didn't pick up yet just because I usually tend to I like a really short or mini skirt, or I like something all the way to the floor. I'm not really a knee length anything. So here I borrowed a pair of my girlfriend's shorts just to see, they're not the same shorts at all, but just to see kind of the vision. And I get it. I think that this could look cool, especially with that more sort of trousery style. But I think that this is something that I might try to thrift or borrow before I commit to buying something that I don't necessarily see as part of my wardrobe long term. Okay, this second one, I really love. This is my biggest, baggiest, most oversized, comfy sweatshirt that I just wear on the couch most of the time. But then she put it with a lot of my dressiest items. So this silky long skirt and the silver bag and the heels. I wore this to a friend's birthday party over the weekend, and it felt really cool, but also not too fussy, not too I dressed up for a birthday. And that was really fun. I also really liked, she suggested these sheer socks. I had a different pair of sheer socks. She didn't know that because I hadn't cataloged socks. So I wore those, and I think that they meet the brief enough that I didn't need to buy this specific pair. Okay, third outfit. This one felt like a really good space for me because the t-shirt and the skirt is an outfit that I would wear all the time, but she added the coat and added a bunch of accessories. The little skinny scarf just kind of makes it slightly different. And I think I'm just bad at accessories. And so I just need to remember to wear the accessories that I have. I also tried this with a sneaker because I'm walking around a lot. So, most of these outfits have heels and I'm not always going to be wearing heels. So that's just like take the outfit that I was given and change one thing and see what happens. Here's another one. She suggested the jacket. I like the idea of like a cool, like colorful, like Peter Pan collar jacket like that. I haven't found one yet. This is one that I'm just sort of waiting on. But I tried it on with a couple of other jackets that I have just to sort of see if I could replicate the vibe. Adding a bunch of accessories to band t-shirt and skirt, I think is gonna be a really comfortable place for me. This is another one I liked. She suggested this like white Peter Pan collared blouse, and everybody has their fashion pet peeves or like things that they just don't like. And for me, that's collared shirts. I don't know why, I just hate a collared shirt. I hate a turtleneck. I don't like anything around my neck. And I also feel like collared shirts tend to feel a little too like mask for me. I know like people style them a number of ways. They're just not my thing. But I liked the outfits that she made, adding this secondhand collared, Peter Pan collared shirt enough that I gave it a chance. And I found one for like $30 on Poshmark. And I was like, well, if it doesn't work out for me, I can just, resell it again. And it turns out that I kind of like it. The practice part here is that it took me like 2 or 3 wears to feel fully comfortable in it. So that's kind of a revelation that like, I don't hate all collared shirts. I do like a Peter Pan collar. There's ways to femme it up enough that it feels like me, and it just sort of takes time to not feel like you're putting on a costume and feel like you're putting on your own clothes. That, and she just paired it with like extremely casual jeans, but like the kinds of shoes and bags that I usually only wear for like a fancy event or like a wedding. But you can just wear those. You can just take those out every day of your life. This one I loved. This was one of my favorite outfits of the bunch, and I was surprised by it because there's almost no black. Black is sort of like my safe color, and it looks almost like it reads very school uniform, which I didn't expect that I would like, but I felt really good in this outfit. I think that, how they're meant to sort of like edge it up a little bit with these over the knee boots. I'm just wearing boots that I already have. That's something that I'm waiting on. But I felt really good, and I don't know if it's just because I like rewatched Mad Men, and this feels sort of in that vein of what I like about the outfits in that show. But I think I'll just keep re-wearing this until I sort of figure out what it is that I love about it, because it just made me feel so good. All right, this one's interesting because it's an extremely similar outfit to the last one, with like different colors and the addition of the colored tights. She suggested pink tights. I already have blue ones, so I just went with that, like the spirit of the colored tight. And this one I did not feel quite as comfortable in. I don't know if it's just like the collar poking out from the sweater that like didn't feel right to me. And maybe that's just something I've just learned. Like I don't mind a collar underneath a jacket, but I don't really like it poking out of something. So that's why you experiment. This one, again, band t-shirt, skirt, my bread and butter, but she added a whole bunch of accessories, including a sweater that I own, sort of tied around as like a scarf, which is not something I would have done on my own. I think if somebody said tie a sweater around your shoulders, I would have been like, that's very like a yacht club. But here it doesn't look like that at all. And then there's different shoes that I can try for different seasons. Again, this lilac pair that I struggle to wear a lot, they're really comfortable because of the platform. They don't feel like heels at all, but the color is not like any other color I own. That's my beef for buying it. It was the Barbie movie. We were all in a place. But here they're playing against the orange, and I think that's cool, and I like this a lot. She said this is a wild card, more experimental outfit, and this is more colors than I ever wear at once. I am usually like black and maybe a little green, right? So putting the green and the yellow and the blue, and I guess in this idea, I also have the colored bag, and I have the bows, and I have the heels. So it's a lot of different things going on. But as I tried it on, I realized like, okay, well, if I wanted to kind of pull it back a little bit, I could switch out the skirt for a black skirt and just have like all black cut up by the blue, or I could put in black tights with my green and yellow skirt. There's a lot of ways that I could play with this to kind of tone it down slightly. It's something that I do a lot with like video editing. So like if I'm editing the color in a video, one of the ways to know that you've hit the right spot is to push the colors, like say I'm trying to figure out the contrast, push it all the way past where I need it to go, right? And then walk it back until it looks good again. And so what I learned from that outfit is that like maybe there is value in pushing it too far and walking it back rather than like trying to make small changes and just being a little too timid about it and never really getting to where I'm trying to go. I used to think that I was bad at getting dressed, but I realized that I simply haven't practiced it. Like if I wanted to learn how to play piano, I don't think I could actually do that by buying several pianos. I'd have to sit down and play the notes, which is boring sometimes, sure. It's a chore to practice wearing clothes, but unlike piano, they don't allow you to quit it in 5th grade. So I can play the notes of my wardrobe by just getting dressed every day, or by taking pictures of my outfits, or setting aside a few hours to try a bunch of stuff on. I've liked using an app because the paper dolls feeling of it all means that I can just look at how my clothes look together without whatever feelings I'm having about my body on any given day getting in the way. And because it's a way to play without having to clean up afterward. All right, I just finished filming all my outfits. Hi. And I had all these grand designs of like hanging everything back up as I went. These were all full to start. And now we're just, it's just this. This is just piles. And hiring a stylist was just kind of like having a coach or a teacher for the thing that I'm trying to practice. Like I can watch all the fashion content I want, but what someone else is buying and wearing is what someone else is buying and wearing. And it was just nice to have someone look at what I own from the outside and say, hey, try it this way once and see how that feels. And like learning any skill, dressing is requiring me to have patience. Like Heather suggested 6 different items for me to buy, and I got 3 of them, which opened so many possible outfit combinations. But I need to run my technique exercises on how I want to wear those 3 things with the rest of the stuff that I own before I can build on it further. So I wouldn't say that downloading an app or hiring a stylist or reselling off the clothes that no longer fit, nor making a curated Pinterest board, none of these things have like made me feel like I've solved it, like I'm a fashionable person, like my wardrobe is complete. But what they have done is make me want to wear the same sweater for a 3rd day in a row just to see it in a different way. They make me want to sew the button back on this pair of pants or take that pair of shoes to the cobbler. They make me want to treat my things a little better as a way of treating myself a little better too, because some perfect dress or pair of shoes that I haven't bought yet that will put the cherry on top of my wardrobe and make me feel perfected and whole is not something I already own. It's not something I could possibly own. But practice and patience and digging out an inner life for myself from underneath the overconsumption, that's already mine. In comments, please tell me about something that you've been practicing. This video is brought to you by the Radish Collective, my community of Patreon supporters. I will see you soon. Bye!